Hey, this is Milz from America, and we are back with tutorial number 3 of the year 2021. So we've done intonation, we've done tape echo, and now we are on to what's called Granular Breeze. Now, it's a compound phrase, so let's break that down. Granular. Well, if you're not an experienced looper, you're probably not going to realize that that's a reference to an effect called granular delay. And in the next part of this tutorial, after I turn the camera around, you will most definitely understand what I'm talking about with the granular. Now, the breeze part, we're actually going to get started before turning the camera around. It's a very, very simple breathing process that we're going to do together. So you're going to watch how I do it and then do it with me, okay? Now, that was a simple in and out, kind of like in therapy, and it's really relaxing, nice. But did you listen carefully? Did I do what most people do and pause after I breathed in? Or did you listen carefully and hear that I intentionally kept it going, which brings into flow? So try to do it with me. We're gonna start in, right? Okay, so what happened? Could we say that that was kind of like a string player where at the end of their up bow and down bow, where they intentionally tried to make the transition in the opposite direction as smoothly as possible? The answer is yes. So instead of no. As smooth as possible. Well, same thing here. And when I turn the camera around, you're going to see how I'm going to apply this rudimentary exercise into a musical breeze, or what we call the granular breeze. Let's go.
All right, so let's get straight into it. So this one with the breeze is not going to be on TFX, although I'll just tell you straight ahead that I'd highly recommend the TFX be on panning delay and reverb, and you're going to see why exactly I'm recommending those. And then just as always, if your TFX, just make sure that it matches what you're So just make sure it's on that. Okay, all right, yeah, exit that. Write it if you want. Okay, yeah. TFXB, I would recommend a panning delay, and you can do it whatever you want, whatever speed. You could, if you want, do all the numbers and stuff. I don't know. For me, just for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna keep it on something like that. Feedback, just depends how crazy you want to get it. Level 100, that's cool. But the most important part is C granular delay. So granular, or hence gran, your breeze, right? So for this, I'd recommend 99 and 100, especially the 100. I'm so big about using the E level 100 that I'd actually, if you want to do it, you can put it. I'd recommend having an EQ just in case, to have it there. And the big knob on the EQ is always the level, right? But here's the thing: if you think most other so this isn't a delay tutorial, but I will say this real quick. If you look at this delay in the E level, I'm going to use the left knob. It changes it, right? Okay. Panning delay. Let's see if there's a pattern here. Go over to E level. It changes it. But when we go to granular, go over to E level, logically you'd think it'd be the same, right? Nope. Well, then what in the world did I just change? Oh, my time. Well, at 100, that's a really low pitch. So for this, I determined that 15, and I'm just gonna be simple and use 12, which is an A, and for simple demonstration purposes, I'm gonna keep it within an octave, and the octave trick is 12, right? So 12, and I'll show you. I'll mess around with that. But for right now, let's just get into it. To not have such a long loop phrase, I kept it semi-short, right? Okay. So let's do the breathing out, which is the easier one, right? Okay. It doesn't sound bad. Okay, let's record. Okay. All right. Now, let's see if we can do the same thing but inward. Okay. Okay. And the more you practice, eventually you can do a lot longer phrases. And I can see how this is way longer than that. So on my initial loop phrase 4 was actually as long as 2. But like I said, this is just for lot simpler demonstration purposes, right? Okay. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm gonna start doing some one full out. So one rotation out. The next one over, I'm gonna overdub it inwards. And then from there, I am gonna use the small knob. Now you could use the big knob, right? Because of what I just demonstrated before. I'm just gonna use a small knob, and I'm gonna do some cool overdubs and go up and down chromatically like that. And let's just see what happens. All right. So the first part is gonna be outward, right? All right, so I got one out and one in, right? Okay. Now, did you notice? It's supposed to be seamless. That's why Sxin from Germany invented the breeze in the first place. So there aren't big breaks, right? And you want to sound like a violin or something like that, right? Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Okay, do some TFX. Since the sound signals are so thin, that's why I recommended reverb. And some people might want to go extra crazy. And here's another cool reverb trick. Most people only think about the E level, but they don't really care about the D level. If you're going to use a pattern delay, something like this, maybe you might not want to use reverb. That's up to you. Okay? Yeah, so that's kind of cool, wasn't it? Okay. And one last part of this demonstration. I showed you how you can do like all that with the Granular Delay, but maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to do. Okay. Maybe you want to do kind of what I did on my Saleh and just kind of do certain things here and there. Just make sure that when you're overdub yellows that they're not too crazy, right?
All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you have been inspired by Sxin, the German looper, as much as I have, which again was my first time I actually knew that it was called Granular Breeze. The first time I did it was back in March of 2020. I didn't know that it had a name. I just was kind of, and I don't know. All right, so I hope that this tutorial ultimately helped you get your creativity juices flowing, right? The whole goal of this isn't to like show off or whatever. It's to help you make better and better music and to be a better artist, right? Because you have musician right here, but then you always want, all of us want to try to transcend that up to true artistry, right? Okay, so we're gonna keep making tutorials. I have some new routines on the cooker and still going, and we still have some interviews we gotta do, but that'll be, again, that probably won't happen until this summer. Okay, well, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.